Ladies and gentlemen, what if the greatest story ever told is not simply about miracles, but about a love so powerful that it still changes hearts thousands of years later? What if the greatest lesson of Jesus is not hidden in extraordinary moments, but in the ordinary choices we make every single day to forgive instead of hate, to hope instead of despair, and to love instead of fear? Today I invite you to see this story with fresh eyes. Many people know the well-known events of Jesus' life. They know about his birth, his teachings, his miracles, his sacrifice, and his resurrection. But the deeper story is not merely about what happened, it is about what those events continue to mean for every human being searching for purpose, peace, and hope. The untold story is not that Jesus came only to be admired. The untold story is that his life calls each of us to be transformed. His message challenged the way people thought. In a world filled with division, he spoke about love. In a culture that often celebrated power, he spoke about humility. When others sought revenge, he taught forgiveness. When people saw enemies, he saw neighbors. That message was revolutionary then. It remains revolutionary today. Think about how easily fear enters our lives. Fear tells us we are alone. Fear tells us we are not enough. Fear tells us that failure defines us. But throughout his teachings, we find a different invitation, an invitation to trust, to hope, and to believe that even in life's darkest moments, light is never truly extinguished. Every challenge we face presents us with a choice. Will we respond with anger or compassion, with bitterness or forgiveness, with despair or faith? Those choices shape the people we become. One of the most remarkable aspects of Jesus' life was not only the miracles people witnessed, but the compassion he showed toward those who felt forgotten. He reached out to those whom society ignored. He reminded people that every life has value, every person deserves dignity, and no one is beyond the reach of hope. Imagine what our world would look like if we lived that way. Imagine speaking words that heal instead of wound. Imagine choosing mercy instead of judgment. Imagine serving others without expecting anything in return. The world changes one heart at a time, and every transformed heart becomes a light for someone else. There is another lesson that often goes unnoticed. Faith is not the absence of difficulty. Faith is the courage to continue, even when the road is uncertain. Storms come into every life. There are moments of grief, disappointment, loss, and unanswered questions. Yet hope reminds us that difficult seasons do not last forever. The darkest night eventually gives way to morning. Every setback can become an opportunity to grow in wisdom, compassion, and strength. Forgiveness is another lesson that continues to change lives. Many people carry resentment for years, believing it protects them. But resentment often becomes a prison. Forgiveness does not erase the past or pretend that wrong actions were acceptable. Instead, forgiveness releases the burden that keeps the heart from healing. It opens the door to freedom. It creates space for peace. Perhaps the greatest untold story is this: the message of Jesus was never intended to remain only in history. It was meant to inspire every generation. Whenever someone chooses kindness over cruelty, whenever someone comforts the brokenhearted, whenever someone offers hope to the discouraged, whenever someone serves without seeking recognition, the spirit of those teachings continues to touch the world. Our world often encourages people to measure success through wealth, status, and recognition. Yet the example we find in Jesus points toward something deeper. A meaningful life is measured by love, by compassion, by integrity, by the lives we lift along the way. These qualities leave a legacy that no material possession can replace. So ask yourself today, what kind of person do I want to become? Will I allow fear to guide my decisions, or will I choose love? Will I allow disappointment to harden my heart, or will I choose forgiveness? Will I allow uncertainty to steal my hope, or will I continue forward with faith? Each day presents those choices, and each choice shapes our future. Ladies and gentlemen, perhaps the greatest miracle is not only found in ancient history. Perhaps the greatest miracle is the transformation that can happen within a human heart. A heart that learns to forgive. A heart that chooses compassion. A heart that refuses to surrender hope. A heart that believes love is stronger than hatred. No matter where you have been, no matter what mistakes you have made, no matter how difficult your journey has been, a new beginning is always possible. Hope can rise again. Faith can grow again. Love can heal again. So let this story remind you that true greatness is not found in power over others, but in serving others with humility, compassion, and courage. Carry hope where there is despair. Carry kindness where there is conflict. Carry light wherever darkness appears. Because one transformed life has the power to inspire countless others. And perhaps that is the story that continues to change lives forever. Thank you.